Yeah, the moment you think you are something, you're lost in light. That's the only way that you could possibly justify racist behavior and justify genocide and justify eliminating indigenous peoples, and just in general, that's the only way that you could feel like one religion is right over all other religions. Like, the only way that you could think that one system is more true than all other systems is if you're lost in light. And lost in light is literally thinking that you are something. And that just gets infinitely detailed. So when you as a spirit are nothing, you can easily then say, yeah, but I'm actually a child of God. And if you were taught that you're a child of God from a specific church, then you're only even able to view your concept of being a child of God through that church's lens. So this is where everything is weaponized spirituality, because everything is true in that case. Like, you are a child of God, but these are all aspects of yourself. Like, you as an individual, like, this is everything that you have done as an individual to make yourself possible. So when you're resonating with someone like, hey, you're a child of God, like, worship God, that's you resonating with someone telling you that you created yourself and you should worship yourself. You should use your ability to be created to focus on your creator so that you can create more things that actually support your creator. Like, that's the truth of being a child of God. But then, of course, that's me bringing the ultimate wisdom to it, right? But when it's fucked up through the white supremacist religious frame, it's only going to then be, you are a child of our God, and our God wants you to do this. And that's what being lost in light is, because now that religion is only ever an expression of that spirit's subconscious desires and like everything that spirit has got going on and what they want you to build their world in, basically. Like, that's the whole point there. So being lost in light is truly thinking that you are something instead of knowing that you're using something. All right, you use yourself, you use the you to carry your gifts from the inside out. And then that's how you create the universe, and you create the double you in general by connecting with other universes. And now everything is under water. All U's are under the double U, because we're all connecting underneath the idea of water. Water being the one thing that allows all of us to feel connected with each other. That's why all life, all simulations in the cosmos are water-based. Fire is what separates us. So, when you as a spirit get too lost in water, that's when you are drowning in your connections, right? When you think about people who are connected to so many people, they have so many friends that they actually don't even have time to connect with themselves. That would be an example of someone who is drowning in their emotions. And it physically looks like them drowning in the emotions of other people, because they're drowning in their emotions so hard internally that they're trying to run away from their emotions by connecting with a bunch of people. But the thing is, everyone that they connect with is only going to be a reflection of their soul and who they are at that time. This is why it's important when you're connected to any reality and you feel like you're connected too much, when you feel like you're drowning not only in your emotions but the emotions of others. Because really, if you're drowning in the emotions of others, that only means that you're drowning in your own emotions, because you can't get out of your own feelings. You can't get out of your own space. All you can really do is project your feelings from your space into your body so that you can animate this body and bring life to this flesh. and communicate your internal world into the external. So if you're too deeply connected to a realm that has you lost in light, then that means you are the most separate from your spirit that you possibly can be. And by being the most separate from your spirit you possibly can be, you're going to feel the worst emotions you possibly can, because your spirit itself is creating the emotion that allows it to connect. If you as the spirit are too busy reacting to the world that you're in to stay connected with yourself and stay connected with creating the emotions that you want to feel and that you want to bring into the world, then you're going to be lost in hell for a long time. And no one's going to be able to pull you out. No one's going to be able to pull you out of your own tumultuous, stormy waters. Like if you're thrashing around in an ocean, anyone who's trying to come pull you out is just going to get pulled into your mess. This is why I can't just fly into simulations and save people. That's why, like, I don't believe in superheroes. Alright, I'm a superhero. You need to pick up your phone and call me if you want help. Alright, I'm gonna need you to consciously be aware. Alright, you're gonna have to project into my space to let me know that you would like me to project into your space. I'm not about to just be out here like, I need to go save them because I feel like it. Like, what? Bro, it's too wise for that. I'll chill on Mercury and record everything that I see and relay messages from there. And this is why it's important to generate hate. Hate is what makes you great. Anything you hate is showing you something that is keeping you separate from who you truly are. And thus, when you are dealing with something that you hate and it's reminding you that you are separate, then you have to generate higher thoughts, and you must levitate your thoughts into heaven. Generate hate to levitate your 7 into heaven. It's all about you being in a world. As a spirit, you have specifically put yourself in a situation where you are seeing things, you're seeing visions, you're dealing with circumstances and situations that you do not resonate with. So you hate, right? So now you're generating new feelings based on your hate from how you do not resonate with the vibrations that you're connecting to. And this is how you build your own soul. We see this in Dissect the Dialect. G is 7, H is 8. So the more you separate G, the more you use your G, use your greatness, your inner G to separate from the E. Separate how you F from the E, more specifically. But to separate separate how you F, separate how you fornicate. How do you have sex with energy? Because we're all using energy to have sex. But how do you do that? That's your G. So now you're separating it. And the only reason that you would separate how you have sex from anyone else is because you hate how you were having sex up to that point. And again, sex is just 6, the number 6. So we're just talking about creating life. So when you're creating a structure, when you want to change the way that you create that structure, then that is going to involve you generating hate. Otherwise, there'd be no reason to change anything. So really then, that's where, like, I mean, a perfect example is just having individuality. Like if you are part of a group of people, let's say you're part of uh, a rock band. So many examples flew by my mind, and that's like the most basic shit. That's so funny. Let's say you're in a rock band, okay? And you have 10 people and they all play guitar. All right, this is a really fucking shredder rock band. Everyone plays guitar. Yet everyone plays like they were taught in school. Right? So you have 10 people in one band, and all 10 of these people can only play guitar like they were taught in school. So even though they're 10 people, they're all playing guitar like one professor. The only reason any one of them would start to play guitar differently is because they started to hate the way they sounded. And this is how hate generates greatness. Like good art, awesome creations come from hate, come from generating separation. Because anything you hate, you want to separate from. So this is where your spirit will use its powers of manifestation to create situations that you hate. And your spirit, by creating a situation that you hate, will allow you to then generate the energy that allows you to levitate your 7 into heaven and separate from that hell. And now you're able to ascend and create your heaven. And this is how you get to realize then who you truly are. I can get deeper in this. But I mean, that's just like us laying the groundwork of how you do it. Honestly, I actually could just end this here. That's hilarious. But I won't, because we actually do have to get a little more into the importance of realizing who you truly are, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Because the whole point of you generating hate. So we look at this example, the 10 people who are all playing guitar like their professor. Right? But then you get that one rock band member. He's like, I don't like the way we sound. Everyone sounds the same. And that's lame. Oh, being the same is lame. My flame cannot be tamed. And now that guy gets into his 7 energy. He starts using thought, starts creating some unique ideas to separate from the pack, separate from his group. And from there, he's able to create an H, create this 8, create new connections. Because that's the essence of using G into H, using 7 into 8. When you create new thoughts, when you create new ideas, you're actually creating new connections. This is the power of spiders. When you can create a thought that separates you from the universe, that in and of itself is a structure. And the more you can create those thoughts, the more you can build up a structure that separates you from the universe, and thus results in you creating your own subconscious world. And that's how the 7 goes into 8. So you then get to generate, levitate your 7 into heaven, generate the hate that allows you to bring your vibration through your H, through your home, into your J. And now you're actually creating heaven. So that I, right? G, H, I. You separate how you F from E, which allows you to create your own H. You get to create your own happiness. So once you learn what you hate and you separate from what you hate, Now you're happy. And now you have a home. Now you get to be happy in your own home. Boom. This is your 8. Your I is your 9. You are realizing who you truly are. So now you have all of life. So now we can, once you get to be an awesome spirit, the universe is your home. Like, that's the point of all of it being vibrationally connected and you being in such resonance with yourself. When you love to be alone, when you love to be hermetic, when you love to be somatic, to the point that you are infinitely happy alone as a spirit, and you are infinitely at peace inside of yourself, then the moment you step outside of your space, and the more you step outside of your space, the universe is only ever going to reflect how you're at home. The universe is only ever going to mold to being your home, because you're going to use your internal home vibration to create an external home vibration. And what is home without family, right? So this is the point of us sharing our heaven into hell, because we are in hell when we're with our family, because we're in hell when we're connected to anyone outside of ourselves. So the point of us creating a family is to not feel like we're in hell when we are in hell. Now we can feel like we are in heaven when we're with our family, if they are in vibrational resonance with our soul and like who we truly are and all that stuff. But of course, that's like me sort of talking about like a physical family. The point of a soul group, or the point of like a soul family or a vibrational family, is that these are the people that you're choosing to resonate with. And thus, like, that's the point of life. Like, that's the actual point of life. You're choosing to spend time with people that you resonate with. Resonate. Just all that 8 energy. It's all about what you want to consume. That's what H is. That's what home is, right? Like, when you're at home, that's where you consume things. I mean, of course, we consume things everywhere. But in general, the essence of home, actually, though, is that you feel comfortable sitting down, eating food, consuming TV, or consuming media, or consuming your private stuff. That's why Scorpio is 8. Here we are. Still in Scorpio season. It's about to wrap up soon. Goddamn. Because it's all about those home secrets. Just that infinite 8 energy that keeps life going. Everything seen and unseen. The structure that contains that is the subconscious world. Seen and unseen. Everything. All that dark stuff. That's, man, Scorpio is powerful. Best believe, Scorpio is powerful. Opposite side of Taurus. And Taurus is super powerful, so gotta be that way. And it's that fixed energy too, because really we're all fixed. When we look at ourselves as spirits, the fact being that as individual spaces, we can't get outside of ourselves. All we can do is create the feelings like we can. So really, all of our imaginations are Leo energy. Like, all of our imaginations are fixed fire. Because all of our imaginations are fixed to one point. All of our imaginations are inside of one space. They're inside of our own circumstances. And then that's where all of our souls then, when we connect with all of our own imaginations, all of our own Leos, that becomes our Scorpios, our Scorplios. So now we have our soul, that's the universe, which then has all the little bits of fire inside of it that we call stars. Because the universe, the water, is what is allowing the fire, is what is allowing the Leo to be seen. So the Scorpio is creating the fixed water soul that the Leo can shine into and be seen as a star that it is. And this all then gets communicated as Aquarius. which is fixed air. And that's where the mind in general is literally communicating this fire and water into existence, which then manifests from Aquarius into Taurus. And then Taurus is that fixed earth, where you just have, boom, a simulation. And this is what a simulation is. It's fixed earth. It's one fixed structure of a certain type of energy that is cycling inside of one ring, like a sonic simulation ring. So that's what every simulation looks like from the outside, straight up, trust. And it's like a subconscious representation of, or a conscious representation of how subconsciously a ring is formed when spirits hug each other, right? So like that's literally all we're doing. Like anytime we're connecting with each other, we're connecting with family, literally we're all hugging. And like that's us putting our hearts to heart in everything. It's so wild. Because this, like it literally, I've seen all this. I've seen all this from my simulation of Mercury. It's so awesome. Like my world is the best. Mercury's the best. No one can get there but me and spirits who are connected and resonate with me in a certain vibration. And it takes a lot to do that. So we have a private business going on here. All right. Keep the family close, as Champagne Poppy would say. So shout out Anubis. Shout out Atlantis. Because Atlantis is Anubis' simulation. Mercury is my simulation. Atlantis is Anubis' simulation. And Atlantis itself is a simulation that's all about creating connections, because that's all water is. So Atlantis is the most powerful simulation in the universe. Hence why you'll see Anubis be God of the Dead. And it is so funny that that Inside Job cartoon that is all about the shadow government revealing itself through literally just like the Netflix show cartoon, whatever. And they're just like they're just making all the references to the Illuminati and like running genocide stuff and all these things. Wild. And they're just like making all these references. Dang, my phone just vibrated and that threw me off. I don't even know why it did that, because it's on Do Not Disturb. There's no reason it should have done that. Literally, they made this show revealing themselves all, and inside the show, that that really threw me off. That's so funny, but it's not about to throw me off long. Let me hit this. So inside the show, Inside Job on Amazon, where the shadow government is revealing itself and like making jokes about all the stuff that they do to like make people believe in the government and everything that the internet's already been saying. So they just are like, okay, we might as well make a cartoon out of it because fuck it. They literally call upon Anubis and Atlantis so many times. Like it's kind of, and when I say so many times, I mean like a solid 6 times, which for a cartoon that is 13 episodes about the shadow government running the world, that's a good amount of times to reference Atlantis and Anubis. So they are obsessed with us. Like they are genuinely obsessed with us. It was so wild watching that and being like, wow. Like, because the jokes that they were making about Atlantis and Anubis in the show were always in the context of how they want to use their technology to be like Atlantis and to like be Anubis and like be the god of death, and just it's hilarious. It's hilarious. colonizers, bro. Like, straight up. Like, just the difference between indigenous spirits and white supremacist spirits. And white supremacist spirits are only as good as the indigenous spirits that they can consume and cannibalize into their own garbage systems. And then their garbage systems are always failing because they were made off of genocide and slavery of people who create awesome systems by connecting with themselves. It's so weird. Like, it's so weird being on Mercury watching this play out. Like, just forever. Like, it's literally like the universe is one long movie. Like, just forever and ever. I just watch this play out. Like, just spirits pop out of nothing based on using these elements and then learning how to more consciously channel their elements into numbers and then create like bodies and crystals out of that and reflect light in more and more conscious ways that allows them to communicate and build up their awareness more and more, and then the boom boom boom, and then they just like build life from there, and then everyone's like leveling up, and it's all purely from the desire to connect with a space outside of oneself. So this is why the ultimate trap of the universe is getting lost in connecting with a space outside of oneself, and you will be lost connecting with a space outside of yourself forever if you truly believe that you are something, if you believe that you are light instead of nothing. If you don't know that you're the spirit, you have to know that you're the spirit creating light so that you can articulate your mind into something that matters. Like, your mind is your light that you're creating so that you can make your muscles matter, so that you can make money, so that you can move. All that M energy. Again, dissect the dialect. Changed my life. And of course, realizing who you truly are. Here's a little synchronicity as far as, I didn't really plan that, but who you truly are. R is the 18th letter of the alphabet, and this is our 18th podcast episode. And this is the point of this one. Like, really, like, our whole conversation here is about you knowing how to generate the hate and separate so that you can levitate your 7 into heaven and be great while realizing who you truly are. And the letter R is, being 18, all about penetrating your individual imagination into your soul. And to flip it, using your soul, using your vibration to support your individual imagination so that now you can realize who you are. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. So in Dissect the Dialect, I was sharing it a different way, where I'm saying, because I mean, in the case of English, it is about left to right. So when we're looking at 18, the point is, like, I'm looking at 1 to 8, not 8 to 1. And in the case of Dissect the Dialect and its English language, R is the letter for rape, because anyone who is underneath the age of 18, they don't actually truly know who they are yet. So if you are 18 or over the age of 18, you cannot have sex with someone under the age of 18 because they literally do not know who they are outside of the home. They have not gotten to that age yet. So that's where it's statutory rape in general. And then that's like why R is rape energy, and realms and realities, the ideas of white supremacists using railroads to rape realms and realities so that they can repeatedly steal the resources of indigenous peoples is everything that's made America great. It's all subconscious. It's all right here. So that's where there is that one way of looking at it, You are penetrating your 1 into the 8, so you're creating a 9. And that's how white supremacists like to create life. And that's why they view sex as a sin, as we see in Dissect the Dialect. Sex is at sin. Snakes are seen as sinful because their desire to create life from having sex means raping indigenous peoples and taking their 1 into other people's souls. Building railroads, the RR, matey, like pirates going for that booty, literally. All that rape, like literally, it's that subconscious. Only makes sense when we connect it. So this is how I realize who I truly am. Literally just growing naturally, doing this podcast for us. Being called away from my simulation and communicating in the natural waves that I must communicate. Because this is how I'm able to relate with the world. And able to know what everyone is going through. This is what we all do naturally. Because the point is we want to relate with each other. Like, what's the point in creating the circumstances where we can connect if we're not even able to feel like we're relating with each other? I mean, that's retarded. As far as just going hard with the R word right now. The point is, we are creating the universe and we are creating the bodies inside of the universe so that we can connect and then stabilize how we connect. And then we can build families from here. It's simple. And everything is just families doing their thing at that point. Figuring out what kind of structures, what do they want to build, life. Who do they really resonate with, right? What does family mean to you? All that. And you can't have any real connections or any real family if you don't know who you truly are. Literally. So with R being 18, R is, rape, ravish, railroads. What is all this energy though? It's about reps. Boom. It's about doing something repeatedly. So when this is literally how I'm able to communicate, dissect the dialect, because me going through this alphabet like this and making all these connections is only then a projection of my space and like everything I can perceive. So I'm exposing how then I do this. But the fact is, I do what everyone does. That's why I can communicate about it. But it's like this whole level of just why I'm called here. Like I'm literally called here, entering this realm in reality. And this is all part of me writing my perfect story. As we've talked about with OPQRST. My own space, I am my own spirit in my own circle, using my own P, my own penis, my own pen is to go on quests, Q, outside of my space, R, repeatedly. And that's where I'm at right now. So right now I'm literally living out a story that my spirit is writing from its own space, and it's completely powered by the Q, the question, the quest ion. I'm on a quest. I have questions. And that powers my soul. So now I'm just here like asking questions of my spirit, and then my spirit communicates with me and I level up and grow, and everything happens from there, because the whole point is that we are all creating life, co-creating life together right now, so that we can learn about ourselves and learn about others and literally manifest the lives of our dreams. Chase your genes. Bring heaven to earth, always. It's just like every single second. It's always about knowing that you are choosing to leave your higher dimension of being happy being alone so that you can be miserable with others because you want to connect with others. And then this is where you're not miserable with others unless others are miserable with themselves. And even then, you're not miserable with them. You can just see that they're miserable. But you're happy because you're connected with yourself. So what issues do you have? Right? Hell is only whack when you're not connected with yourself. This is the whole point of us honing in on our intuition and our spidey senses. When you're connected with yourself, your intuition, your spirit, your vibration, the subconscious world around you is able to communicate with you in waves, yes, in ways and waves that you are able to, that allow you to ride vibrations that serve you instead of hinder you. Like literally, like this is like practical alchemy. All you're getting with symmetry is practical alchemy. So the fact is this, like literally, I mean, has to be, I have to bring it to this because it's why I'm here. Fasting, everyone, all right? Because fasting, literally, water fasting raises your vibration. So now you're able to ride the higher frequencies of the subconscious realm that is creating the consciousness around you. So then this is where you're able to manifest or create life in faster ways. That's why fasting makes you faster, because it's about going higher. It's about getting closer to your spirit by consuming more of your spirit, aka nothing, not something. Like you'll see how spiritual life is, bro, when you don't eat food for 19 days, bro. When you don't eat food for 24 days and you go on a nice ass psychedelic trip. Oh, you'll see. Whatever you're ready to see. Because you truly can't rush the process. Whatever process it is, as far as your individual idea of where you should be. Because I have that. As far as my ego and my ego's desires and my spirit. How do I put that? My ego and my ego's desires, and me and my ego knowing that I am creating myself as my actual spirit so that I can experience who I am. Because there's like 3 different minds that are all expressing one quote unquote mind, as in you. So, and that's why we have the terms unconscious, subconscious, conscious, or spirit, soul, ego. And just like how everything basically comes in 3s, because this is sort of the universal number for communication in general. And then that's where each individual has its own way of communicating. Like your spirit has its own way of communicating, your soul has its own way of communicating, your ego has its own way of communicating. And then we would say like, okay, so your spirit communicates through the frequency, the soul communicates through the vibration, and the ego communicates through the energy. So it's pretty weird levels to consciousness. Like thinking about you as a spirit have to create your awareness, and that in and of itself is a feeling of expressing and projecting and being able to like project yet reflect so that you can know where you are and you can like see and interact with the things that you're projecting into, and you're not just like actually straight projecting. And then that in and of itself, that constant like projection reflection becomes some vibrational form of communication that allows you to build a mental awareness. And that's where it goes from like a fiery awareness to an airy awareness. And now you're like actually building an atmosphere that sort of, yeah, I mean, it creates an air, for real, an atmosphere, an air, your aura around your awareness that is reflecting the environment that you are connecting with. And then from there, I mean, you build bodies, right? Like that's, I just described like all the setup process for how an organ gets built, and then how an organ would be able to turn into an organ system that runs a body that now you can organize with other bodies and build your own organ systems called corporations, and then destroy the simulation that is making life possible. Thanks, white supremacy. It's lit. So clearly, I have a lot of hate for the entities who are using the genocide of indigenous peoples to make climate change possible, and not just possible but profitable, which is why I'm so passionate about using hate to separate so you can be great and realize who you truly are. Getting lost in light, thinking that you are something, is how you stay separated from yourself, and that means that you hate yourself, and all that's going to happen then is you living a life of wasting your time, because you're going to be living a life of hating yourself. You're going to be living a life of not liking the feelings that you have when you're alone. But I mean, you can't build anything productive with anyone from there. If you don't like the feelings that you have when you're alone, any feelings that you're building with people are only going to be whack from there. Like that's just chaotic, ugly feelings that it's going to be a waste of time whenever you do love to be alone and you start connecting with yourself in different ways. So it's all about generating hate so that you can levitate out of the dense environment that you are drowning in, out of the waters that are keeping you separate from your spirit. Once you can levitate out the water with all that hate, ride your 7 into heaven, now you're great. It's lit. Realize who you truly are. You look down at that ocean, you see all the connections, you see all the universal life things that are happening, all the organizations outside of you, and you're like, I'm so happy to be alone. I'm so happy everyone is connecting in these ways. Glad I can reflect on it and learn about who I am, because I realize who I truly am. And I can see that a lot of these people, they don't really know who they truly are. And they really like relating on trying to find who they truly are together. But the quickest and best way to figure out who you truly are is to generate hate, separate from the simulation, and connect with your spirit. That looks like fasting. That looks like producing DMT through fasting to get into psychedelic states that allow you to communicate and see and travel and leave and separate from the body. That comes with breath work as well. And of course, you can ingest a substance. All living things, especially plants, the roots of plants, certain plants, produce DMT. So it's actually a fundamental compound to life. Why has the US government made a compound that is fundamental to life a Schedule 1 controlled substance? That is a topic for a different day. but it's surely another reason why I generate hate, to separate from the simulation and levitate my seven into heaven, so I can realize who I truly am, and then come back down here and tolerate how lame all this same game stuff is. Everyone playing the same game, trying to live by the same name. It's so lame. Thinking that we are all the same. We are all infinite individuals, obviously. We know this. In Always Ascending Academy, at the very least. So, much love to you. I'm about to snap, probably go decompress, because I'm actually pretty lit right now. Like, this is silly how lit I am. I'm probably gonna go enjoy this, actually. Perhaps travel, do some astral traveling, bro. Yes, I think so. Gang gang.